Hey everyone, we'll just give one more minute for the last or any more people to filter in before we get started.
Uh,
Think we should get started here or
yeah, I think we can get started.
Yeah,
all
we
right,
can.
great. Welcome everyone. I'm Tom Robbins. I'm a sustainability analyst working with Zeigo Activate, and I'm very excited to be introducing and moderating this webinar focused on empowering small and medium enterprises to decarbonize using two innovative digital tools, Zeigo Activate and Zero Circle. I am joined here by two experts representing each of these products, who I would like to now give the opportunity to introduce themselves. Hemant, take it away.
Hey, nice to meet you all. My name is Manseri. I'm the founder of Zero Circle. We are a green finance and sustainability solutions provider where we help connect small and mid-sized businesses with access to green funding and green investment strategies. We support various types of decarbonization strategies as part of their journey and try to meet some of their requirements, whether it's mandated for their own business practices or their customers that are kind of asking them to do it. The idea is, decarbonization is where most businesses have to kind of move forward, and we can help them along their financing journey to meet those goals.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. I'm Laura. I am the Customer Success Manager of Zeigo Activate, and I support our customers throughout their decarbonization journey in using the platform not only to account their carbon emissions, but also to report it to their stakeholders and implement decarbonization projects. Nice to meet you all and happy to be here.
All right, great. So we'll go through several slides here, and then we'll have an opportunity for a question and answer segment at the end. Please feel free to ask questions throughout the presentation as they come up. I'll start us off with a very brief introduction to greenhouse gas emissions, decarbonization, and why it is so critical that small and medium enterprises are enabled to take climate action. Then I'll pass the baton to Laura, who will introduce Zygo Activate, discuss how it supports SMEs to leverage their key decarbonization levers and identify primary challenges for small to medium business decarbonization. And then lastly, Hemant will dive into how Zero Circle works to circumnavigate these challenges. He'll identify Zero Circle's mission and approach, formally announce the partnership between Zygo Activate and Zero Circle, and explore the current landscape of green finance for SMEs. All right, so greenhouse gases are gases that naturally provoke the greenhouse gas effect when emitted into our atmosphere. And this greenhouse effect rather, is critical to regulating the Earth's temperature. However, excess greenhouse gases from human activities such as energy consumption and industrial operations intensify this greenhouse effect, leading to the growing environmental and economic challenge that we know as global warming and climate change. Every emission from companies, both small and large, contributes towards global warming, and the more we emit, the more we must monitor and reduce our greenhouse gas emissions. And so decarbonization means actively working to reduce these emissions, often by embracing renewable energy sources and improving energy efficiency. And so we'll throw up a quick poll right now where we'd like to ask why you are interested in joining this webinar, whether you're interested in using a carbon accounting platform, setting a new decarbonization strategy, or implementing green financing practices. And so we'll...
And I see Christina had a quick question. I just opened it up. Christina, do you have a question? You're on mute if you're asking a question.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. Yeah.
Okay, the feedback is really overwhelming. I'm hearing a lot of echoing, and maybe it's just on
Yeah.
my end.
Yeah, I see your name twice here, so it might be somehow you're connected twice.
Ah, that must be it. Sorry to interrupt you. Apologies.
No, no problem.
Huh.
All right. So far, it seems like we have a very mixed interest, which is great. Interest in carbon accounting as well as strategizing and implementing new green financing tools. So hopefully we'll be able to help you circumnavigate these challenges with the remainder of this presentation here. All right. So decarbonization is imperative for small and medium enterprises, just like large businesses. SMEs make up 90% of global businesses, and they contribute upwards of 60% of our global business sector greenhouse gas emissions. Over 38% of these businesses view sustainability as a key business opportunity because decarbonization enhances brand value and stakeholder trust, attracting customers, investors, and corporate buyers. Further, decarbonization enables compliance with a growing body of regulatory pressures. However, SMEs face multiple roadblocks on their decarbonization or net zero journey. These include a lack of capital, expertise, and tools to decarbonize efficiently and affordably, with administrative complexity and financing access persisting as top barriers to climate action here. And so now I'll pass the baton to Laura, who will introduce Zeigo Activate and the role it plays in solving these challenges.
Thank you, Tom. So basically, you guys, Zeigo Activate is here to support the small and medium-sized companies, regardless of where they are at their sustainability journey. And how does the software work? So in Zeigo Activate, you can calculate and measure your scopes 1, 2, and 3. We're in the process of including all the categories under the scope 3, and we're almost completed in this task. And then we also help companies. Tom, can you just okay, perfect. So we're sharing also a couple of our templates and screens inside the product, but it's just a tease. And inside Activate, after you calculate your emissions, you can track them and see where you are towards achieving your decarbonization journey. The software is really easy to use. It is a guided tool that will walk you through each step of the way on how to calculate your emissions and what are the data that you need to do this, that you need to input to do this. You can select a decarbonization target available in the platform, or you can customize your own. And then we don't stop at the level of the calculations. We go beyond that. We help companies to access a customized decarbonization roadmap according to their needs, their baseline emissions, the decarbonization target they selected, and by answering a simple questionnaire on what are the main energy systems for them, they can access not only a database of projects, but also connect with solution providers that are trusted by Schneider Electric and helping them decarbonizing their carbon emissions. These solutions go from quick fixes until offsetting residual emissions, and we also give an overview per project category, showing them what is the estimated cost, the yearly savings on money and energy, and the return on investment of each project category. So it's a very complete tool that will help you from the beginning to the more advanced steps of your decarbonization journey. Besides that, you can also connect with these solution providers. And how does this connection is enabled? We put available in the platform many opportunities, decarbonization levers for when you want to start and implement your decarbonization projects. So on the next slide, we share with you a couple of levers that are inside the tool that you can access by generating a decarbonization roadmap. And what can you do? You can improve your energy efficiency through your operations. You can electrify equipments and processes to reduce fossil fuels dependence. You can switch to renewable energy sources. You can lower your emissions from transportation and use of refrigerant. And you can use other digital tools like Zeigo Activate to track and reduce your carbon footprint. And lastly, offset your emissions by acquiring carbon credits from projects with trusted partners. All of this is available to you inside Zeigo Activate by simply creating your company profile. And then it's important for us to talk about why small and medium-sized companies and enterprises sometimes have so much difficulty in starting their sustainability journey. And from our perspective, one of the greatest challenges is finance. So many times the companies have a tight budget to implement sustainability projects. So they need to use tools that are more available to them. And also they have difficulty in accessing green finance mechanisms, mostly because sometimes they're seen as high-risk companies by financial institutions because of their size. And we see on this partnership that green finance unlocks investment and makes sustainability accessible and feasible to small and medium-sized companies. I will hand over to Hemant now, where he will discuss about Zero Circle and how our partnership is making everything possible for SMEs.
Awesome. Thank you, Laura. And if anybody has any questions, please feel free to kind of add it in the Q&A box at the bottom. We'll kind of address it as we go along through the process as well, right? So thank you, Laura, for that, and appreciate the introduction. So what we do at Zero Circle, we are a green finance marketplace. At the end of the day, what we do is we connect small and mid-sized businesses with a network of various lenders and institutions to enable financing for various types of projects across the board. And the main goal for us is to help you transition to net zero. More and more customers, buyers, regulators, enterprises are all asking to kind of meet net zero objectives and decarbonize your business operations. And we want to be able to kind of support whatever initiatives we have and programs we have by making sure we give you the best chance of success with the right financial structure, the right financial instruments, and more importantly, lower cost of capital to meet these journeys, right? Many times, many businesses don't even know that there are very specific types of funding instruments and funding programs that are available for organizations to be able to kind of help them. And it can be super beneficial to use lower cost of capital with, certain types of milestones committed to decarbonization to meet those journeys. Okay, Tom, next slide. So our partnership with Zeigo and Zeigo Activate team specifically is kind of complementary to what they currently do. So Zeigo focuses today heavily on the decarbonization, reporting, carbon accounting, support and guidance from expert network to kind of help you figure out what you need to do. And Zero Circle kind of fills one missing gap around making sure that once you know what you need to do, we can help you get there. We can help you kind of get to the right investment strategies, both CapEx, OpEx, and additional type of investment requirements to support those specific strategies. We have a deep integration with Schneider team, and we are starting to integrate our platforms as well. But this allows us to kind of get the businesses that are using the Zeigo platform a seamless access to both reporting as well as decarbonization and meeting those milestones on a long-term basis. Yeah. So today, Zeigo has listed Zero Circle as one of their service providers on their service marketplace. If you're using Zeigo today, and if you plan to use it in the future, you can quickly kick off a request from the Zeigo Activate platform to the Zero Circle solution. And then once we get that request, we will start to work closely with you to figure out what options and approaches we can set up as part of your decarbonization. In addition to that, we have a lot of technology behind the scene that we set up to make sure we can open up multiple different lenders and multiple different type financing products for your decarbonization goals. So the way the process would work is first, once you kick off a request from the Zeigo Activate team, Zeigo Activate product, it would come into our origination process. We work with you to request a bunch of different additional types of information that we would need, including your financial history, your project performance, what type of project you're looking to get financed, how it fits it within the capital stack, whether it's a debt or an equity structure that you're looking for, and how do we figure out the right deal structure as part of that. There is some automation built into this, and there's some, support. Some of our support teams can work with you closely to figure out what is your objective as part of that financing journey. Then once we set up the right financing structure, we publish your project onto our investor marketplace. Today, we connect with about 2,000 green lenders and investors, and we are slowly opening that up to more and more across the globe. Our primary focus right now is to get you to the right set of investor networks that can help you structure this. Our primary focus is on the debt-focused investments and debt structures. And so think things like, I'm going to give you a few examples of it in a few later slides, but things that we can help you meet your existing decarbonization program within your existing business, and where we can help you secure low cost or even certain times, free debt access structures that you can meet those objectives. There's a lot of incentives that various government agencies provide, both at local level and the federal level. And there's multiple, private institutions that are also trying to support decarbonization incentives. In addition to that, we also can potentially work with certain corporates that you're engaged with and set up a program as part of those corporates that are trying to set up their own decarbonization program, and where you are a recipient of those funds from those corporate structures, and we can kind of help you qualify for those as well. So there's a number of different ways that we can structure this, but most importantly, what we are trying to do is give you the best bang for buck to kind of get you the highest chance of success for getting access to the right funding structures, the lowest cost of capital, and making sure you can meet the decarbonization goals that you've set up as part of that journey. So there are, few investment types that many SMEs typically go through, right? Think about energy efficiency, like, lighting, HVAC, boiler upgrades. So, many both commercial and industrial facilities have to do certain kinds of heating and energy efficient programs. So this allows you to reduce both your operating costs and also, increase comfort. More and more modern technology is already energy efficient on its own. And if you have like a system that's 10 or 15 years old, for example, upgrading it will both, enhance your business operations. It'll reduce cost because they use less resources compared to historical, legacy systems that you have in place. And it also can help you meet some of these decarbonization goals that you set up. And just by upgrading your facility or investment in your heating or lighting system, you can actually even get low cost financing for some of those projects, right? In addition to that, as companies and businesses are starting to invest in renewable energy projects like solar and battery storage, it makes more and more sense to use that as a lever for reducing your energy costs. Regardless of what's going on in the economy, as everybody's probably aware, the cost of energy is not decreasing, right? The historical trend has been between 5 and 10% every year that energy costs are increasing annually. So that's not going down, regardless of whatever types of macro or global level energy programs can be set up. Whether oil prices go down or not, your energy costs are going up. In addition to that, there's significant demand that's coming up with all the data centers, the new AI capabilities that are being built out. There's significant need for new energy demand that is also going to drive the cost of energy, right? And then finally, the grid is significantly constrained, right? If you want to kind of install a new access to new grid for an EV facility or a logistics transportation facility, or even just to kind of set up a solar facility on a commercial scale, it can take in certain parts of the country up to 2 years to get permits, just because the grid is not sustainable today to meet those demands. So it makes sense for businesses to meet the rising costs and low access to energy by investing in solar panels or battery storage or microgrids or small wind turbines to meet the demand that they have as a business as they grow. So this allows not only for you to reduce your energy costs, but more importantly, even generate revenue by the energy surplus that you're getting. And there's a lot of financing options for renewable energy today. I mean, it's probably the biggest bucket, I would say, of options for companies to invest in financing options as part of their energy sourcing policy. All right. Then the next piece is on transportation. So you got, just going back, I'm going through each of these because each of these are fairly important for many different types of customers, right? So then on the transportation side, you got, EVs, you got, new fleet of automated logistics, and other types of, trucking that are trying to kind of build a more electric vehicle fleet. Again, the more EVs you have, the more fuel costs are going to be reduced and lower your emissions. So again, you meet your decarbonization goals. And while the cost of transportation, or especially EV facilities, fleets are somewhat more expensive, the costs are going down on a year-by-year basis. And again, linking back to financing, you have significant amount of optionality for different types of capital structures we can set up for investing in sustainable transport facilities. And then lastly is on waste management. I kind of broadly classify this as waste and recycling. Water recycling, waste recycling. We are working with a number of companies that are focused on different types of pyrolysis and sustainable aviation fuel by using, existing landfills and existing, waste material to be able to drive renewable energy. So there's a lot of benefit in investing in waste technology and waste management platforms to be able to drive, again, both decarbonization goals as well as meeting some of the other sustainability objectives that you might have for some of these programs. And all of these are linked to different types of financing instruments that customers can procure to kind of meet those objectives without significant capex in certain scenarios as well. Okay. The next slide. And lastly, wanted to quickly touch upon the different types of lending products that are available. Now, typically, not many people are aware of the various types of financing products that are available as part of meeting these objectives. And institutions can get very creative. Financial institutions can get very creative, but finding the right institution to meet those objectives can be difficult at times, right? You can go to your existing bank in your backyard and get a term loan if you want to, right? There's no reason not to do that. But by getting some of these more creative financing options, you can reduce the amount of capex, opex that you have to invest in a particular project and also meet your decarbonization goals. There are, specific, like just kind of touch upon a few here. There's things like sustainable linked loans. Many institutions, and I'm aware of about 70 or 80 banks in the US itself that can do these things called sustainable linked loans, where if you can show meaningful measurement and performance on your decarbonization, you can actually get a couple of percentage points on your loans and term loans in terms of interest rates that can be reduced. In addition to that, there are asset and equipment financing companies where you can install solar for free, in certain parts, depending on the capital structure that makes sense. So based on like these power purchase agreements and other types of lease buyback options, you can get, convert your, let's say 100 or $500,000 capex investment into an operating cost, and in certain situations get those costs to fairly close to zero, because now you're generating energy rather than investing in an asset, right? So you can kind of make those numbers work for you and start to get certain types of asset financing where you don't have to really put a lot of upfront capital. In addition to that, let's say you're a business that's been operating for many years, but your credit history is not the strongest, or you may not have the right capital structure to be able to meet it with your current lending facility. There are certain types of credit guarantees and risk sharing organizations that can support these specific types of investments if they can kind of link it back to decarbonization. And so these are specific government-backed institutions and banks that can, basically support your existing bank to kind of offer credit guarantees, so you can still meet the credit requirements without having to, kind of invest more capital or put more collateral, for example. So kind of just touching on some of these are various types of options, and under each of these, across different geographies and across different kind of countries, you can actually get country-specific requirements. Like Europe has a lot more facilities for these kinds of programs compared to the US, for example. But in the US, there's a lot more capitals available for these kinds of programs. So, there is definitely some interest in these. We can definitely work with you to figure out what is the best option and leverage both, technology and our network to be able to kind of drive this programs further. Okay. And then lastly, really is kind of looking forward here. If there's any questions you have, please feel free to answer questions. We can address any questions here, but you can contact both Zygo to help both on the decarbonization and using the platform to set up your decarbonization requirements, and then work with Zero Circle in collaboration with Zeigo Activate to kind of set up those financing structures to meet those decarbonization goals.
All right, great. Thank you both, Hemant and Laura, for sharing your insights on the respective tools here. Now I'd like to encourage anyone with any questions on either the products or the landscape of decarbonization for small and medium enterprises to enter your questions into the chat, and we will jump out to them and open the floor.
Awesome. Yeah, there's no questions. Yeah, please feel free to reach out to us. Happy to do a deeper demo on the platform and touch upon various kind of options and where you are on your decarbonization journey. Like I said, this is not a once and done effort. This is a long-term initiative, and both Zygo and Zero Circle, we're looking to be long-term partners with you as part of that.
Exactly. And if you're an SME who wants to access a green credit line or a green finance mechanism, sustainability bonds, or any other sustainability finance mechanisms, and you need to calculate your carbon emissions to report these KPIs in order to access this credit line, feel free to join Zeigo Activate. We have a light version where you can calculate your scopes 1 and 2 entirely free of charge. And in our Pro version, you can also calculate your scope 3. So depending on your needs, both Zero Circle and Zeigo Activate are the best solution for you. Okay, so Tom, I'm seeing a question here. I'm gonna jump into it.
Great.
So Daniel is asking, how can solution providers join Zygo's marketplace? So we have a link, Daniel. I'm gonna get it for you very quickly. And all companies that want to be listed as solution providers, they basically provide their information on what types of projects and solutions you offer. And then our team reviews it internally and sees if your solution is a match with our platform. We want to make sure that all the listed solution providers, such as Zero Circle, or companies that have ESG and sustainability as their core businesses, and that they are able to provide the best solutions under their categories for our users. So let me just pull up very quickly the link to our marketplace, and I can send right here on the chat. In the meantime, if we have any other questions, feel free to ask them so we can continue answering it. Here is the link. I'm gonna send it on the chat. I'm sending the link right now, Daniel. So you can send your company's registration. You just click on the button, the blue button, join Zeigo Activate Marketplace. Directly in this link.
Yes, and as Doug just pointed out in the chat, this webinar will be posted on LinkedIn as a recording to be shared, and I believe we'll also be sharing on YouTube as well, so this can be revisited.
Okay, I'm not seeing any other questions. You guys have our contacts then?
Yeah. Yeah, no, please feel free to reach out directly on our website or through the contact email on the previous slide here, Tom, if you want to kind of highlight it.
Yep.
And happy to kind of answer any questions after, kind of one-on-one as well.
Great. Well, thank you everyone for joining. Thank you, Laura and Hemant, for presenting to us. And if there's no more questions, I guess.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Appreciate your time today.
Thank you, guys. Have a great day. Bye.
Bye.